back of the grid with a grid penalty yesterday. He's in the middle of the third row, and he has been incredibly quick. So he's got a 6th, 2/5, the win in Le Mans, and a crash. 17-year-old Spaniard from the middle Alps. A Red Bull MotoGP, 66 kilometres around, getting into the first corner first. And away they go, and again Brian Uriarte gets it rolling very well, and so does Veda. Veda again has the advantage from pole position, just that extra to get into the first corner ahead as he did yesterday.
And it is Veda and Brian already with a couple of bike lengths then up towards turn 5, a massive overtaking spot coming up as we see Hakim Danish going side by side, Beñat Fernandez going downhill slightly towards the reverse corkscrew. Now you cannot imagine how steeply downhill this is. Much further up the grid in this sort of part of the race than he was yesterday. Now we head, we're Brian, then David Gonzalez. It was Christian Daniel getting overtaken there by, I think, Hakim Danish. They're not making our job very easy.
Not at all. But of course, yeah, Christian Daniel, those with a grid penalty, he had to come off the back of the grid yesterday. That, of course, contributed to the crash.
It is Danish in
too
the
much
third.
Too soon.
It's Danish is the number 13. So a really good start for the Malaysian from 7th, cleanly overtaken there.
Right, and it's the slipstream down the back straight, 226 kilometres an hour, 100.
Daniel overtaking Beñat Fernandez, and you can just see the difference in line choices through the left-hand sweep. Patama, Uriarte, Danish, Gonzalez in 4.
Yeah. And those 4 have got a bit of an advantage, haven't they?
In the race at the moment, Carter Thompson, the rider in 6th, up into 8th position from 10th. That first lap was pretty decent for him, making up all that ground as Hakim Danish goes back.
Fernandez, as I say, he doesn't come off the back of the grid today, and of course he's made good use of that. Down the corkscrew again, dropping down the corkscrew, head tucked down, crawling underneath the paintwork. And it still is Veda Patama, the number 13 of Hakim Danish, pulls out alongside the...
Difference in line choices,
brilliant.
Just absolutely brilliant. Across the line they come then, and Carter Thompson's come back now, and he set the fastest lap of the race, a 2:03.5. Significantly slow, running 2:02s down to 2:01s.
And that's now, what is it? That's like an 8-9 man battle for the lead now.
The Kyrgyzstani rider just ahead of that chasing pack. We do have a top 8 now, and I think it's got to be the win factor and the difference in conditions, Pete.
But as we said with Zen Matani, he's back in 18th place, just behind Sullivan Mounsey.
At the moment, he's running a 2:04 pace, 2 seconds slower than what the leaders were running earlier.
If he can do it yesterday, why can't he do it today?
Everyone else has done their homework, Pete.
So a tailwind as they come out onto the back straight again. Wasn't it, as he went into the left-hander? So he hasn't gone for the higher gearing, I don't think. I think he's stuck with the low before he flicked it left-handed off the back straight. So someone who's gone for the higher gearing, maybe Hakim Danish is stuck with the higher gearing, and that will be an advantage. With
number 17 of car push in there, and 2:02.5. He was the fastest rider on track last time around. Decent margin. He is really on a move. There he is in the middle of your screens. The Kurd are up in towards turn 5 into 5th place now, chasing down Brian Uriarte.
Right, so now Dave from Veda Patama very, very slightly. Hakim Danish is there on the 13 and a very strong 3rd, but I'm sure David Gonzalez has got thoughts of trying to break this pack.
We've got Marco Morelli there along. They were 1.3 seconds back from the leading pack, and Christian Daniel ahead of them.
Oh, no, that's right.
And a lot of riders going wide there and off the curb.
That's right. No Gonzalez anyway. And Brian Uriarte said that he's been racing David Gonzalez since they were kids, and he said he will pick up a slipstream, but it isn't that easy to pass on the run to the line here. It's the 13 of Hakim Danish.
Who is
Surely it's going to be, and Veda Patama pulls out. Is he going to pass him? Oh, it's Photo finish.
Who will it be?
Patama,
was it Indonesia?
And Uriarte 5th, Morelli 4th. Dear, dear, dear. Mounsey 10th. He doesn't deserve 10th, does he?
But we don't know!
0.011.
But what we do know is Beñat Fernandez was 3rd.
He should have been better. Mitani 13th.
Morelli 4th.
Goodness.
That was a cracking ride in the end there. Well done, Marco.
Well, so does Veda Ega pick up a double?
Coming onto the straight and ultimately right.
Danish, our points leader, he ended up back in 13th place after quick as qualifying. So in theory, some of them at least can go quicker. Let's see. The lights are out and away we go. Who makes a good start? Christian Daniel Jr. is tucked in behind Brian Iriarte, but it is the 51 of Iriarte that leads. The American is behind him, Veda Ega. They head down to the first corner. Who's going to be brave on the brakes? Up the inside, no, it's Brian Iriarte who has it covered and sweeps through the first right-hander.
Back from Jerez, the first round of the year. You've got Gonzalez in 5th as well, Peter.
Yes, and already the 70 of Christian Daniel Jr. looking for a way past Brian.
Behind the 51 of Iriarte, switches towards the inside line, and Daniel goes for the lead but thinks better of it through Iriarte. Once childhood friends, they've grown up racing each other all along, and as they're getting all involved, it is Pratama who goes through into the lead.
And this, yeah, using
through a Karpushin's race came undone. Yaroslav, the number 17, he's on the grid, already up into the podium positions.
And Benyat Fernandez, of course, he's already had a win in race 2. And Iriarte on the 51, and up the inside is the 50 of Carter Thompson, the Australian.
And look at the 13 of Hakim Danish as well.
3 seconds covering the whole grid at the moment. So 51, it is Brian Iriarte with the advantage.
Well then, through
to the climbing right-handers of Iriarte 1 and 2.
Now in 1st and 3rd place now in this race.
Out onto the start and finish to complete lap 2.
The inside line nearly on the grass as they now come across the Tricolore. They're going to fan out as they come towards side. He can out all the grip he possibly can from those tyres. Mounted the number 4 up to 4, but moments
has the slightest advantage.
I think it was Morelli who went really wide at turn 1, Peter. He's down to 19th now, the Argentinian. What an advert, Peter, this is for the Asia Talent Cup. I know they're taking sign-ups for the following year at the moment, but look at this. Asia Talent Cup 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. Previous winner so far this season.
And the 34 of Zen Matani's in 2nd place, a Japanese, 18-year-old Japanese. And he had nicknamed Kietsu Singapong, the Thai rider. File out, look at that, it's about 10 of them!
Squeezed there, the number 4 in between 2 other riders, proper sandwich. Wow, there you go, that's what can happen. That is why it's messy. But as we saw yesterday, when it gets to crunch time, the key is to just go for it.
Yeah, Benyat Fernandez is going for it up the inside there, the number 7. You're looking back at the number 7. Benyat were on board with Iriarte.
And now it's back similar to what we had. Got to stay very, very clean and avoiding white lines, but it is Iriarte from Daniel. And then Pratama. Carter Thompson slotted into 4th. He narrowly missed. Do wonder what kind of race we're about to see. Will the riders have looked at what happened yesterday and thought, I can't have that kind of mess again. If I have more pace, I need to go for it. No. And that's where he makes his move, or tries at least, as Iriarte says, no way.
Veda Ega, as you said, Matt, the other two are mucking each other up, and Veda just took advantage of that absolutely superbly with the cleanest overtaking move up the inside. Wonderful stuff. A bit disappointing the last couple of races, obviously trying to put that right. Veda Ega, the 54, along
2nd or 3rd place now, but Iriarte snatches the lead right back from Carter Thompson. That was a brilliant set of... They come. It is the 51 from the 7. You've also got Singapore back there. World Supersport 300 Championship last weekend. Fernandez and Thompson taking a win apiece. Really good stuff, carrying through that
180 kilometres an hour, 112 miles an hour there as that move uphill. The 51 of Brian Iriarte.
They come then weaving from one side of the track to the left and trying to keep it fairly sensible. The late breakers, you got the number 4 of Sullivan Mounty in there too. Zen Matani, the 34, but no, it looks to be Hakim Danish who's got the inside. As Singapore takes it straight back from him.
And I didn't see who it was. It went way right.
Not working out for the Argentinian right now.
He's brilliant one weekend and just doesn't have it all together the next. But it still is Carter Thompson, the 17-year-old Australian, who has the advantage. Absolutely brilliant. So, Carter Thompson, 51-50 has the
dryer. They can use a lot more of the track lap by lap as the sun starts to beat down here in Mugello and
place. But now looking really strong there in 2nd place, the 85 of Mike Yu.
And it looks to be Danish who's going to come into 1st up. It's starting to Iriarte then. So the slipstream effect really takes hold. Benyat Fernandez slot back to 7th place. So in the lead we now have Iriarte from Danish. It's as you were with us, championship lead.
With Iriarte.
Then stand up any celebration around the world because we've got so many nationalities here this year.
That's right, and it's Sullivan.
Go! You can't count him out, can you, Marco? This is the... Tomorrow when the grid has changed up again, won't we?
Yeah, but he just, you know, that's unfortunate. I think he's a lovely